So this lesson we're going to be doing graphing linear equation in standard form. Who remembers what is the y equals, what do we call y equals mx plus b? Who remembers? That's the what? The what? The linear, right? So standard form is the same thing, similar to the same thing. The only thing is it's another type of, but the same thing that it's another equation, okay? So let's go on to the next. Just remember the linear, and now we're going to have what? Standard form. So it says linear equations in standard form. So you already know that this is the what? The linear equation, correct? Now we're going to go and see it in standard form. If you go to the second slide, it says what? The standard form of a linear equation is what? AX plus BY equals C. Where A is what? A, B, and C are real numbers, and A and B are not both what? 0. So can A and B be 0? Anything multiplied by this would not be 0. So do we understand why is it where our real numbers and A and B are not both 0? Can one be 0? Let's say I have, let me erase here. Let's say I have 2y equals C and then 0x. Can that still be in standard form? Yes, the only thing is that you might not see it as 0x. Where do you see 0x? Nowhere you're going to see 0x because anything multiplied by 0 is going to be what? 0, correct? So that is still what? Standard form, okay? I still have in standard form. Now, here it says, consider what happens when A equals 0 or B equals 0. When A equals 0, the equation becomes what? BY. In this case, I just put an example of what? 2, correct? Just so you guys can see it. BY equals C, or what? Y equals C over B. Because C over B is a what? This is what we called our, should I do another color? Can you guys see or should I do another color? Constant, right? You can write Y equals B simply. Similarly, when B equals 0, the equation becomes AX equals C or X equals CA. Who doesn't understand this? If you see this, all they did was what? In a way, it's kind of rearranging the standard form of the linear equation, but I'm just showing you where you could have where A is 0 or B is 0. Can they both be 0 at the same time? If they're both 0 at the same time, then you only have what? 0 equals C, correct? How will we know that's a linear standard form equation? It needs to have at least an AX equals C or a BY equals C. Let's just explain it a little bit. I just want you guys to see this core concept. Let's work it out a little bit. Let's look here. Horizontal and vertical lines. Who remembers what vertical lines are? They go up and down. And horizontal goes side to side. Who's vertical? What axis? The Y or the X? Who's vertical? No, vertical is the Y. No? Let me do it another color. Is this the vertical? And this is the? So, vertical and horizontal. X is our horizontal and Y is our vertical. Remember the vertical line test, which was what? up and down. Okay, so if you look horizontal line, the graph y equals B is a horizontal line. The line passes through point 0B. What does that mean? 0B. That means that we stand at 0 and we go up. Do we know how many B stands here? It has to be anything above 0, right? It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, we don't know, but we know that it just means that it's what stays. It stays where? The point is going to be where? Going to be in the y-axis? Or is it any point that's going to be on the x-axis? Who understands that? Remember the equation. It was what? Yx plus by equals c. This first one here is telling me what? The x equals what? 0. And y equals b. Here is telling me that x equals what? A and b equals, A equals, y equals a and y equals 0. Do you see? Do you see the letters A and B for the order pairs? Let's go on to the next. Let's work one out. Horizontal and vertical line. Here it's just telling me to do what? What is A? A equals, let me do it another color because this is highlighted. What does A equals here? A is telling us the y is going to be y equals 4. Just by thinking here, what is my order pair here? What will be my order pair here? Do I have an X? Do I have an X? Who's Y and who's X? What would X represent? No. We're in A. We're in A. A equals 4. A equals 4. I'm sorry. Y. We're in letter A, but Y equals 4. So what will be Y? 4. And what will be X? 0. That's it. So if we were to graph it, let's just graph it. My lines are going to be a little bit crooked. So we know that this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So my line is going to be here because y equals what? Y equals 4. What does that mean? For every value of x, remember this is who? X is over here. For every value of x, for every value, the value of y is going to be what? 4. So again, for every value of x, the y is always going to be 4. So who can give me an example? Any other point there besides 0, 4? Who can give me another example? Pick and a positive or negative. If I decide what? This is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. If I go, and those don't look like numbers, correct? Like little. If I have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. If I go -5, 4, Am I still on the line? What if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I go positive 5 and 4. In other words, it's for every value of x, the value of y is going to be what? 4. It's always going to be 4 when y equals 4. What about when b, look at b. Now we have b is telling us that x equals -2. Where am I going to plug that in? First, let's find an order pair. What is x here? And what is y? 0, correct? So that means that I'm going to go where? I'm going to stand where? Here, correct? How is my line going to be? Horizontal or vertical? Huh? Is my line going to be, what is it? Vertical. My line is going to be vertical. This point here is telling me it's what? -2, 0. We established that this was 0, 4. No, not over here. That one's 5, 0. 0, 4. So what does that mean? That for every value of y, the value of x is going to be -2. If I have -2, 3, -2, 3, am I still on the line? What if I have -2, -3? Am I still in the line? That just means what I have, think about it this way. Everything is in common, the x is going to be -2, and any number for y, my x has to be constant as a -2. Who doesn't understand this? All we're doing is horizontal and vertical lines. Go on to the next one. Y-intercept. Okay, I know that some of you last week for the quiz did the y-intercept and the x-intercept. Not all of you, but some of you. So let's pay attention. What does that mean? The x-intercept of a graph is the x-coordinate of a point where the graph crosses the x-axis. It occurs when y equals 0. So look over here. This is the y-intercept. Does y equal 0 here? Because it's telling me what? X is A and y is 0, right? Do you see where it intercepts? Do we see where it's intercepting? Well, who intercepted here? Think about it this way. You're crossing through who? Through the x-axis. So you're looking at what? The x-axis is being intercepted. It is something that's going through the axis. In y-intercept of a graph is the y-coordinate of a point where the graph crosses who? The y-intercept, and it means it is what? 0, where x is 0. So that is what we call, to graph the linear equation ax plus by equals c, find the intercept and draw the line that passes through the two intercepts. Do we see the two intercepts? Obviously, this is y and this is x. The line does the line crosses through the two axes? You see the line right here? It crosses through the y and x. That's all what it means. The y-intercept or the x. Sometimes you might find a line. Think about it this way, guys. Let's say I have a line and I have it like this. Is that intercepting somewhere? That's just in the first quadrant, right? But if I now say it like this, am I crossing through him? I'm intercepting, right? I'm going through the line. So to find the x-intercept, let y equal 0 and solve for x. To find the y-intercept, let x equal 0 and solve for y. So let's solve. To find the x-intercept, let y equal 0 and solve for who? For y. Well, it tells us what? To find the y-intercept, let x equal 0 and solve for who? On this equation. Use the intercept to graph a linear equation. So let's look. What does it tell us to do? To find the x-intercept. So we're going to x, first, let's just do two lines. X-intercept and y-intercept. So if you recall, what did they tell us to do? May I put intercept instead of intercept? What did they tell us to do for x? To find y-intercept, what do we have to do? Substitute 0 for who? For? This is the equation, right? Look back over here. So, here we have what? 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 12. So obviously we have 3x, because we know that this cancels out, right? Equals 12. What do I do now? Divide 3 on both sides, and x equals? What's 12 divided by 3? X equals 4. So the x-intercept is who? 4. Now let's look at y. For y, are we using the same equation? Yes. So now we're going to do 3. We're going to substitute x for who? 0 plus 4y equals 12. We know that this cancels out, and we're left with what? 4y equals 12. What do I do now? For y equals 12. What do I do to solve for y? And y equals 3. So, what are my order pairs here? Here we know it's going to be what? 4, 0, because we let who stand for y? 0, correct? And here we let x equals 0, and we know that y is going to be 3. Can I plug in now? We have 4, 0. Let me do another color. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4, 0, and we have what? 0, 3. So we now plotted what? The points 4, 0 and 0, 3, which is my what? My y and the x-intercept. We know that this is y and this is x. It went straight through the middle of the line, correct? Who doesn't understand this? Stop me. If you understand, you need to stop and ask questions. All we're doing here is substitution, okay? We're looking for y. If we're looking for the x-intercept, all we have to do is substitute that y for 0. And if we're looking for the x-intercept, we're looking for the x-intercept, we substitute y for 0. And if we're looking for the y-intercept, we substitute that x for 0. Okay, let's go on to the next Here it says graph the linear equation. Okay, graph the linear equation. What do I do here? What is it telling me? Y equals what? Negative what? Negative 2.5. Is there anything I need to do here? All I need to do is find what? What is 0? I'm sorry, what is x? I already gave it to you. 0, and y is negative 2.5, correct? So, I have 0, and this is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, right? So, negative 2.5 will be somewhere around here, correct? And all I'm going to do is, and that's all I'm doing. That's my answer. That's my answer. Let's go to the second. Can I go into the second example? Yes. What is telling us here? X equals? So what is my order pair here? 5 what? 5, 0. So we know that 5, 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it going to be horizontal or a vertical line? What is it? Vertical line. And that's my answer. Let me know when we're ready for the next example. Remember, this is y and this is x. Now it says label the points corresponding to the intercept. So what's the first thing I want you guys to do is draw a line. Draw a line for what? So that you can remember that you need to do to what? Two different equations, okay? Draw a line right in the middle and rewrite the what? The equation twice. So that way I know that I need to have what? Two different order pairs. This is going to be my x-intercept and this is going to be my y-intercept. When I'm looking for my x-intercept, who do I need to equal to 0? My x or my y? My what? My y. So I'm going to have 2x minus 0 equals 4. That's the same as 2x equals 4, correct? What do I do now? I divide by 2. X equals, so my order pair here is going to be 2 what? 2, 0, because we let what equals 0? The y, right? Same thing is going to happen here. Now for my y-intercept, who do I need to stand for 0? X, right? So I'm going to have 2 times 0 minus y equals 4. We know that 2 times 0 is what? 0. So we're going to have what? Negative y equals 4. Can we have a negative variable? No. So we're going to do what? divide by -1. So we're left with y equals -4. So my order pair is going to be what? 0, -4. So we're going to graph it so that we can see the what? The intercept, right? So we're going to have 2, 0. We're going to have 2, 0 over here. And we're going to have what? 0, -1, 2, 3, 4. 0, -4. And I'm going to do my line. And that is going to be my what? My intercepts. The only difference is that now we were doing it in what? Standard form. Okay, standard form. Okay, so here we have the same thing, right? We're going to label the points that corresponds to the intercept. So what's the first thing I told you to do? Who remembers? Let me see. The what? Do differently.
Draw a line.
Draw a line. Thank you. We're going to draw a line. Why? Do you have to know? Should you? Not really. Do I advise it? Yes, so that you could know. Because for some reason, we're only getting, students get just to 1 point. You have to have both points. So we're going to have x plus 3y equals -9. Let me write it a little bit nicer over here. X plus 3y equals -9. And x plus 3y equals -9. We're going to have this stand for x, and this stands for the y-intercept, correct? So who we're going to substitute here for? When we want to look for the x-intercept, we're going to have who be substituted for 0?
Y.
So we're going to have x plus 3 times 0 equals -9. We know that this cancels out. X equals -9. What's my ordered pair here?
-9.
-9, 0. Then in y-intercept, we're going to let who equals 0? X plus 3y equals -9. So we're left with 3y equals -9. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. Y equals -3. My order pair is going to be 0, -3. And again, we're just going to do what? This is a very crooked line. Maybe I should do it more over here because I have -9, right? This is going to be y, x, and we're going to have -9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is -9, 0, and we have 0 and -3. This is going to be, and that's our line. So all these order pairs, our equation is going to be what? X plus 3y equals -9.